A weed is a plant that has mastered every skill except for learning how to grow in rows. Doug Larson. Weeds can be one of the biggest headaches in gardening. If you don't get ahead of them early in the season, they'll steal nutrients, water, and sunlight from the plants you actually want to grow. This week, we're talking about early weed control strategies to make your life easier this growing season. Why start early? The weeds are already out there, germinating and growing faster than anything you've planted on purpose. Young weeds are easier to remove before their deep roots form. Prevention will save time later. A little work now avoids a midsummer nightmare. Step 1. Identify your weeds. At this stage, it can be hard to tell if tiny plants are weeds or self-sown seedlings from last year's plants. Before pulling, make sure you're not accidentally removing something you actually want. Weeds fall into two main categories. You have your annual weeds, fast-growing seed spreaders. Annual weeds sprout, grow, and go into seed in one season, meaning they'll spread like wildfire if ignored. Examples include chickweed, pigweed, crabgrass, and lamb's quarters. Control methods for annual weeds include mulching early. This will block light and prevent seeds from germinating. Flame weeding, a great blast of heat kills seedlings. And hand hoeing, quick and effective before they set seed. Your other type of weed you have is perennial. These are deep-rooted and they will always keep coming back year after year. Perennial weeds survive year after year, usually regenerating from deep roots or rhizomes. Examples of perennial weeds include bindweed, thistle, and Bermuda grass. Control methods include digging them out completely to remove the entire root system, solarization, cover with plastic to cook the roots, and thick mulching, blocking the light and starving the weeds. Mulch is like Windex in My Big Fat Greek Wedding. It fixes almost everything. It blocks light, stopping weed seeds, and sometimes your own seeds, from sprouting. You can use organic mulch like straw, wood chips, shredded leaves, grass clippings, and compost, or you can go for inorganic mulch like landscape fabric. Even with mulch, some weeds will still find a way. That's where pre-emergents come in. Pre-emergent weed control. Some products prevent weed seeds from germinating in the first place. While I avoid synthetic options, there are natural alternatives. Corn gluten meal, a natural pre-emergent that releases proteins into the soil to prevent seed germination. Fast-growing crops like rye, clover, or buckwheat could all be used as a cover crop to suppress weeds while improving your soil's health. Cover crops are my favorite pre-emergent method. They work for you rather than just stopping weeds. If weeds are already growing, mulch and pre-emergents won't help all that much. You'll need to physically remove them. Hand pulling and hoeing is the traditional way of doing this. Use a sharp tool to slice weeds just below the surface. Pull weeds after a rain. Wet soil will make the root removal easier. And don't compost your invasive weeds. Bindweed, thistle, and similar weeds should all be burned, trashed, or made into a weed tea. And once you've tackled your weeds, regular upkeep is essential. Check weekly. A few minutes now will save you hours. Replenish your mulch. As it breaks down, reapply every 1 to 2 years to maintain that 3-inch depth. Plant densely. No open space equals no room for weeds. And then try companion planting. Strategic plant pairings help shade out weeds and prevent their germination. Weeds will always try to take over. It's just part of gardening. But early action now saves hours of frustration later. Let's grow!